Welcome to the podcast of School Beyond Limitations. In this podcast, you will learn how to guide your child through their school life with the intention to help them find their unique essence that will allow your daughter, your son to live a fulfilled and meaningful life. What is holistic education and why is it important? In this episode, I will talk in more detail about one of the main pillars of the educational approach at School Beyond Limitations. My name is Dr. Martina. I'm the CEO, co-founder and designer of School Beyond Limitations. If you would like to see a fulfilled and happy child, you want to subscribe to this channel. Well, what is education in the first place? Education comes from the Latin word educare, and educare means pulling out, extrapolating from what's already there, from what's already within. And this is something that School Beyond Limitations really takes at heart, because we know that there is already everything there. It's already planted, but it's us who need to help support students to find their inner essence. And we really believe it's important that we look at education from a holistic point of view. So what does that mean, looking at education from a holistic point of view? It means that we do not just look at the intellectual growth. It's very important that a student perceives themselves as a whole unique being, and there are different layers to this unique being, and there is the spiritual layer, there is the emotional layer, there is the social layer, and there is certainly also the intellectual and the academic layer. While traditional schools mainly focus on the intellectual part, which sometimes and very oftentimes actually leads towards making students completely disconnected with themselves. We believe that we need to lay first the foundation for the intellectual growth to happen. And that means that we need to look into spiritual growth. We need to look into social growth, into emotional development, and of course also physical development. And then of course intellectual development. And if we have those layers, really solid, then the intellectual development will come nearly automatically. So, and today I would like to emphasize the importance actually of one of the layers of holistic education, and that's the physical layer, the physical aspect. We are all body, so each person perceives themselves as as a body. And this body is there to be used. This body is there to be engaged. This body is there that we train it. And if we look, for instance, at how children actually explore their surroundings, their environment, as soon as they are already born, they turn around their heads, they use their legs, their arms, and when they start crawling, they really start discovering the surroundings and the environment by moving around. And the big problem or issue in today's society very often is that students unlearn to, and we also as adults unlearn to be actively physically involved in something. That's why at School Beyond Limitations I have embedded the physical exercise movement in everyday session, in everyday's lesson. So it shouldn't be just a sports lesson that happens in all the schools. It should be part of everyday's life. And by doing it every day for a short time, we invite our students to extend that to beyond the school hours, because it's not only about doing it in school. Even if we do it just for 5 minutes, It shall help students realize and facilitators realize that this is actually part of my daily approach. And part of it is what we do in mentoring is that we encourage our students to do it also beyond school hours. So to establish a daily routine, maybe a daily morning routine or a daily evening routine or a daily afternoon routine where they go outside, where they actually either run or go for a fast walk or go to the gym or go swimming or interact with others. Then we also connect it with the social aspect where they go play to play football or basketball or whatsoever, because it's important. If I start my day, for instance, in the morning by activating my body, that has, and we know that, that has an impact not only on the physical health, because we of course use our muscles and we feel we allow oxygen to come into our body, and that also ignites our brain to be much more active. We feel active, we are ready for the lesson, we are ready to start, and we feel that the body is there to serve us. It's an instrument for us to serve us and to then also connect with within. And the nice thing also about doing physical exercise, by the way, if I'm doing it on a daily basis, if I'm going outside, for instance, for a walk, I can really connect also with myself within. And oftentimes what happens, and we know that, when I'm really in the flow of doing things, of exercising, of feeling my body, I connect with myself, I'm getting inspired by what I see around me, and that ignites also my creativity. And I remember, as an example, a student of ours, 12 years of age, who joined us for a community of practice discussion on digital devices, on the use of digital devices and the downfalls. And this student basically said to the adults present in the room, he said, you know what, I have learned that going outside and going for a run or going for a bike ride has allowed me to feel how important it is to disconnect from social media to connect instead with myself and with nature. And that has shown me that I have created so many more ideas around what I would like to do in the future, what I would like to do next in the next day in school, what I would like to do with my family, and so forth. So we see the benefits of physical exercise. The benefits of physical exercise, as I said before, are not only health, physical health, mental health, emotional health. It's also about setting up resilience. It's also about, developing soft skills such as discipline, such as leadership. If I were to go, if I were to play in a football team, I can lead others. Or if I were to hike up to the top of a mountain, I can become a leader for others if they are undergoing or going through a crisis because it's too heavy. And it's all of this, and furthermore it's also helping develop motor skills, which are very important. That's why we always encourage our facilitators to be the role models for their students. We invite our students to bring their preferred physical exercise into school. That can be dancing, it can be stretching, it can be yoga, it can be anything, so that we all copy that, we all do it, and we do it together. Because in the doing it together, we increase this awareness that the physical health, the physical well-being leads to the well-being of the other layers of a holistic, life of a person. And I invite you as parents really to do physical exercises with go out with your children as much as you can beyond school hours, because I just would like to share with you, I personally grew up in a family with a father who took me up to the mountains at an early stage in my life. And the mountains became my second nature, and the inspiration and creativity that I could then express came also through this possibility of, feeling my body and being exposed to wonderful natural surroundings. I did the same with my own son, and it happened the same. He is now a mountaineer. He also gains inspiration from that. And I see it with our students who are basketball players, ice hockey players, football players. We always say, everything is possible. And that's why we also launched a kind of challenge, and it's called the SBL On the Move Challenge, where our students engage in physical exercises on a monthly basis, and we try to collate at the school level, the resilience and about each of us, and we bring it together. So it's basically telling us, one of the pillars of holistic education is physical movement, and it's telling our students and ourselves, I can't just sit all the time. My body is made for movement, and if I'm in a surrounding that caters for that praises such an approach, that actually always facilitates such an approach, eventually I will take it in. Eventually I will make that part of my life, and that's also making it part of a fulfilled and healthy life. So if you think that this is the right environment for your child, for your daughter, for your son, then please apply for a place at School Beyond Limitations. You will find the link in the description. Thank you. At School Beyond Limitations, we support our students find their unique essence. Feel free to share the content of this podcast with other parents. We are here to show that your children can indeed bring their unique essence into life. So, reach out to us if you think that this is what you'd like your daughter, your son to experience, or apply through our website. Also, leave your comments, your questions, or your review about the podcast. Share it with others. And as you know, sharing is caring.